You brought me onto your ship, human, and now you think you can just walk away from me? No. You are mine.
The jungle planet of Verith was not on any standard navigation chart. Captain Ethan Cole found it only because his ship's scanner caught an anomaly, a distress beacon buried under 17 layers of encrypted alien code. Most captains would have ignored it. Ethan was not most captains. He landed the Astrian in a clearing swallowed by silver-leafed trees that towered like cathedral columns. The air tasted like copper and rain. His crew of 5 stayed aboard. He went alone, hand resting on his sidearm, boots sinking into the soft violet moss with each step. He found her in a cage made of energy coils, not injured, not begging.
Standing.
Straight-backed and silent, blonde hair loose around her armored shoulders, golden eyes burning through the bars with a fury that made the air between them feel electric. Around the cage, 3 armored guards from the Keth Dominion lounged lazily, unaware of what Ethan had already decided. He didn't negotiate. He didn't announce himself. He fired the coil disruptor at the cage's power core and watched the bars dissolve. The guards scrambled, but the woman moved faster. She caught the spear one of them dropped and had 2 of them on the ground before Ethan fired a warning shot that sent the 3rd one running into the dark. She turned to face him, not with relief, with assessment. Her eyes swept him top to bottom like a general reading a battlefield. "You are human," she said. "Not a question." "Last time I checked," Ethan replied. She said nothing more. She walked toward the Astrian, like she already knew where it was. He followed her, unsure who had rescued whom. Her name was Lyra. She was the heir-commander of the Solven Frontier, a warrior clan whose territory spanned 4 systems. The Keth Dominion had taken her during a treaty ambush, trying to use her as leverage. She had been caged for 11 days. She had not asked for help. She had sent the beacon expecting her own fleet to come. Instead, she got Ethan Cole. He gave her the 2nd bunk in the captain's quarters, the only private room large enough to not feel like an insult. She accepted without comment. She placed her spear against the wall beside the bunk with the kind of precision that told him it had a place everywhere she slept. "You'll take me to the Solven relay station," she said that night, standing in the doorway of the bridge in full armor, as if she hadn't just been held prisoner for nearly 2 weeks. "That's 12 light hours in the wrong direction," Ethan said. "Then you will turn around," she replied. He turned around. The days that followed were strange and quiet. Lyra did not make small talk. She trained on the cargo deck every morning, her movements fluid and deliberate, the spear tracing arcs through the recycled air like she was cutting agreements with physics itself. Ethan's crew watched from the grating above, pretending not to. Ethan watched from the doorway, pretending he wasn't. On the 3rd day, she caught him watching. He expected the fierce look, the cold dismissal. Instead, something shifted at the corner of her mouth. Not quite a smile, but something near it. She threw him a secondary sparring staff and said, "Your stance is wrong." For 2 hours, she corrected everything. That night they ate together at the small table in the captain's quarters. She told him, without emotion, that her people did not form bonds lightly. That the Solven had a word, Verith, for the one who arrived when no one was sent. The one who comes without being called. Her grandmother had one. Her grandmother's grandmother. They were, she explained carefully, rare. Ethan sipped his coffee. "What happens to the Verith?" he asked. Lyra looked at him steadily. "They are kept." He laughed. She did not. When they reached the Solven relay station, 3 of Lyra's warships were already docked, her generals pacing the hull in relief and fury. The moment the Astrian connected to the dock, they flooded aboard. Ethan stood at the bottom of the ramp and found himself facing 6 Solven warriors in full battle regalia, none of whom looked pleased to see a human captain in their heir-commander's ship. Then Lyra walked down the ramp behind him. She stepped beside him, not past him, but beside him, and looked at her generals with a calm that silenced all of them. "This is Captain Ethan Cole," she said. Her voice carried the tone of an announcement, not an introduction. "He is my Vethare. You will treat him as you treat me." The silence on that docking bay could have held a planet. Her lead general, a scarred woman named Orith, looked at Ethan with new eyes. Then she pressed her fist to her chest and dipped her chin. The others followed. Ethan leaned slightly toward Lyra. "Did you just tell your entire fleet that I belong to you?" "No," she said, walking forward. "I told them that you are mine to protect. There is a difference. And if I don't want to be protected..." She glanced back at him, gold eyes catching the station light. "Then you should not have come to Verith, Captain." Over the next weeks, the story spread across 4 systems and 7 trading stations. The human captain who walked into a Keth Dominion camp alone and came back with a Solven heir. Lyra never corrected any version of it. She also never left his ship for long.
He didn't ask her to stay.
He didn't have to. She had decided, in the way her people decided everything, absolutely, and without apology. One evening, as the Astrian drifted through the copper-colored nebula above Verith, Lyra sat beside him at the navigation console, her spear resting against the panel, her shoulder almost touching his. "You know," Ethan said quietly, "I still haven't gotten paid for this route." Lyra didn't look up from the stars. "You have something better than payment, Ethan Cole." "Yeah." He glanced at her. "What's that?" She finally looked at him, and this time, it was unmistakably a smile.
"Me."
He didn't argue. For the first time in years, the stars felt like a place he actually wanted to stay. Ethan didn't answer her. He didn't need to. He reached across the console and covered her hand with his, quietly, without ceremony, the way a man does when words feel too small for what he means. Lyra didn't pull away. She turned her palm upward and held his hand like she had always known it would end up there. Outside, the stars stretched endless and indifferent. But inside that ship, in the warm amber glow of a borrowed corner of the universe, something permanent had been decided. Not by fate, not by duty, but by choice.
His. Hers. Theirs.